Hello, welcome. This is Arunava Chaudhuri, and you are on my YouTube channel, Arunfoot. Sorry, I am later than I intended to be with this latest discussion. And today onwards, I will call it Indian football and more discussion, not just to restrict ourselves to talk about Indian football, the latest in Indian football, but also what is happening in European football, in world football, and it's a World Cup year. So I think restricting ourselves and just talking about Indian football, I think, is not enough, and that is what I thought. And therefore, I have come to that, and hope you like that idea. Again, Indian football and more discussion, and we'll talk as always, I guess, on the Indian Super League. We will talk about other things that are happening in and around Indian football, but also sorry, in European and international football. And um, we'll also talk about, yeah, and so therefore for me, um, Real Madrid, Manchester United. I did something on Xabi Alonso on my channel, Real Madrid sacking Xabi Alonso. What is the thought process behind it? What is it behind it? Um, Again, do watch it. I think I liked it. And again, like, share, and subscribe as always, guys. It seems like you're late, but I mean, in India, people call out YouTubers for coming late instead of asking AIFF for accountability. Aditya, for me, as I always say, yeah, I'm a YouTuber or I'm a, uh, you know, uh, content creator, whatever. Or, someone called me the other day, a blogger, whatever it is. As much as I love to do this, and I really enjoy doing this, talking to you, interacting with you guys, trying to get my viewpoints across, get my ideas across. This is fun, right? So again, if I work, was stuck in traffic again today because I was on the road. So therefore, that has its priorities. Thanks, Kalyan Chau, for making Indian football famous worldwide for wrong reason. Aditya, there have been, maybe Kalyan is doing it at the moment. Others have done it in the past. I think Indian football has had always numerous reasons of why it has been in the headline outside of India, and why we are doing wrong things. And we've had a lot of things. So therefore, yeah, those are things which are there, and let's see what happens again. India has not done itself a favor with a lot of things in the last few years when it comes to football. Hey Roshan, is there some truth about replacing Crispin with a foreign coach? Roshan, I've heard something that there is some conversations. I think it's come through to the AFF that I think not everybody is happy with the current situation around the women's national team, and that there are sort of tendency, let's call it tendencies to think about trying to replace potentially Crispin. Um, is it going to happen? Is it not going to happen? We'll have to wait and see. And so that's an interesting one. OFC will start training in the end of January. Aditya, again, I think we see more and more teams deciding what to do, not to do. Today, the announcement from Mumbai City that John Toral is leaving, which proves to me the point that, uh, um, and yeah, let's wait and see what happens. Again, is there going to be any interesting things? I think the big thing I think was yesterday that the two key bodies of governance were created. On one side, the ISL Governing Council, as well as the ISL Management Committee. The interesting part will be how will it work, because I think so therefore, for me, yeah, that will be the interesting part. I think there's a lot of back end stuff, so let's wait and see what happens. Good AFCON AFC U23 matches going on, more intense competitive matches ahead in finals. Football going good. Shanata, is it really intense? I mean, I was talking to someone about European football today, where my feeling is that has football really plateaued over the last few years? I've seen that under 23 Asian Cup qualifiers, and I felt the quality was actually quite poor. AFCON also, again, yes, because also we've seen now with all these tournaments having been blown up, right? There were used to be compact 12, 16 team tournaments. Now we have 24 teams or something even more. Look at the World Cup with 48 teams. Like the question is, can you keep the quality if you are trying to spread it out? Again, it's theoretically, I would say all these spreading out always helps us. Again, we wouldn't be playing the AFC Women's Asian Cup if it wasn't a 12-team tournament. If it was an 8-team tournament, we would not make it. So these are some of the realities. So therefore, one has to see how this what kind of impact it has. But to me, you know what, good quality football, I don't know. I've really not, in the recent past, I don't know, maybe my demands are too high. I always say that, I've not had really or watched top class football the way I like to see it. Can AIF even buy a foreign coach? They couldn't even reinstate Bibiana's contract. Aditya, the question about the women's thing is not about comparing to Bibiana. Again, I don't know what the sort of the deal, the CSR deal with Coca-Cola is. It is supposedly only for the under 17s, but some people are saying no, it also it contains the senior women's team. Maybe, maybe there is a partnership, maybe with something or someone or the other, which enables them to maybe sign a coach for 2 months, and then we'll have to wait and see what happens. What a match between Bangladesh and Indian futsal 4-4 end, says Ashraf. Yeah, 4-4. India held by Bangladesh 4-4 in the SAF Futsal Championship in Thailand. But I also ask myself the question is, um, how can it be that such a tournament can't happen in South Asia and has to take place in Thailand? I mean, that's a question that needs to be asked to everyone in South Asia. Now, India futsal team also making their first wins by winning SAF. Let's see SAF futsal future ahead. Pranata, it's the start. Again, 4-4 against Bangladesh today. Let's see. There was India's Bangladesh futsal match today, but yes, Pranjal, it was. India only can win SAF. That's it. Aditya, can we win SAF? Again, in the men's football, the women's, we've not been winning SAF. And the men's also, the question is, can we win SAF? Surely also feel football dipping quietly, which is not good. Yeah, I think we've overhyped the individuals. And to me, the Xabi Alonso firing, uh, 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 you know, uh, uh, you know, and uh, the power of the players at Real Madrid to me is a sign of saying, you know what, is football going in the right direction on a global scale? I think that would be an interesting question that I would like to ask: is are we heading in the right direction? Are the things going in the right direction? And if I would ask myself that way, then I would actually say most probably no. Right. So if we're looking at things at the moment, very difficult, very, very difficult in my opinion. I'm kind of happy that Bangladesh on our level now, basically in all level of football, futsal. Okay, Pranjal. Mountain Sporting Club can't pay 1 crore, so how will they pay for players and coaching staff? Mahesh, ask Mountain Sporting. Ask Mountain Sporting, ask the AIFF. This league happening again, no questions asked if you're able to pay, not play, what pay, this pay, that pay. Uh, uh, you know, uh, um, so therefore, I don't, again, these questions are not asked, right? But this AFCON looks like the best organized so far, and here experts saying AFCON quality wise better since many teams used to struggle in the heat in other countries. Roshan, again, yeah, maybe the AFCON organization is better than in the past. Again, Morocco is hosting the World Cup in a few years. We should not be forgotten. But to me, the question is, is the quality wise? Because again, you have a lot of these European-born players or the others who play in Europe. So therefore, the quality of the AFCON is going to be higher. But if we look at the Asian Cup, for example, good example in my opinion, I thought the quality wasn't as good as it was in the past. So therefore, it's always a yes or no, and then we'll have to wait and see what happens. Why can't they bring Joachim on board with Christian as assistant if they are so desperate? It's the Trevor Sinker thing all over again. I don't know. I wouldn't make, again, my problem is if I would bring in a Joachim Alexanderson with the senior women's team, he's done that, right? In the past. He's coached last year at some stage, I don't know, was it 2 or 3 matches? Correct me, Roshan, if I'm wrong. I don't see him in a system to Joachim, to do to Crispin. And, you know, all due respect to any of our Indian coaches, but any foreigners, so yeah. So finally, Odisha FC uploading on Insta and Twitter about their participation in the Twitter one. There were so many hate comments. It really shows live rent free in the head of legacy clubs. Aditya, as I said with other things, just don't bother. Roshan answers Simon, that would be the best situation. I think solution is what you meant, Roshan, considering the timing. Yeah, but I don't know if those two, because Joachim has to bother about the under 20s and under 70s as well. And what I've heard is that they actually were thinking of bringing in someone for the under 17s as an own head coach. So therefore that is something that we'll have to wait and see. Any update for tenders? No, Prasad. Tender, I think, supposed to go out tomorrow. Uh, Other tenders are ending tomorrow, so we'll have to wait and see. AIFF again, it's old form doing governance model planning. They don't even do target planning directly, 20-year plan. And again, that statements about copying Premier League, Bundesliga models, AIFF is AIFF. Again, if you're copying the Premier League and Bundesliga model, it's nice. I don't have a problem with copying that. The question is, are you adopting it to our realities? Yeah. You know, I really have a bad news. There's a guy who was in Manchester United under 18. His father's Nigerian, his mother is Bangladeshi. The Bangladeshi FA officially trying to reach him. If they succeed, we are doomed. Aditya, again, let all those players play, no? Again, to me, um, Bangladesh has a complete list. I saw for under 23 is a complete national team list. So let them do that. You know, more foreign players leaving ISL thanks to AFF. Yeah, I mean, what are they going to do and hang around, right? I mean, a lot of these guys have been there, have seen it, have done it. And again, this is, I think a lot of people are realizing that this is going to be some sort of mess, and rather being part of this mess, let me get out of it. Uh, so let's wait and see what happens in the coming days and weeks. Diego Mauricio is done and dusted for East Bengal, according to Indonesian journalists. Yash, let's wait and see. Yeah, let's see if he signs. Diego will never go to East Bengal until I am alive. He's a club legend. No way he will go to East Bengal if it's like the whole management is trying to downplay us by approaching our legend. Aditya is a footballer. And if he's got a good offer from East Bengal, he can take it, right? Very sad to see Ronaldo being disrespected, being called selfish after all, after Al Nassr losing 3 matches. Not good to respect such legend who gives all for team at this age. People need to be mature. No. Why do they need to be mature? I think that Al Nassr and I think also Portugal are better without him. And he is selfish. You know, it's not a matter of if you're calling it out again. There are ways of calling out. Cristiano Ronaldo has always been selfish, right? I remember Ralph Rangnick clearly said, and then the problem was, and Ralph Rangnick was gone. So so therefore for me, makes no sense. So yeah, for the money that he's been paid, again, you could most probably build a whole team. So I don't know. To me, does he deserve the respect? Maybe, maybe not. Hey, Utsav, you should do watch along of Chelsea Arsenal game. Utsav, I've got other appointments this evening and I'm watching the Bayern Cologne match in the background of having to do some work. So sadly, I won't be able to do that. So what is the news regarding OSA? Is just random talk or government really considering it? Utsav, at the moment, random talk because the government needs to take action. Again, having conversations is nice. I've had these conversations for the last 25 years. So I'm past the conversation stage. I want to see action, and that action is not happening. Yes, and our working was last year. I guess interim was installed until Christian came as head coach. Exactly, Roshan. So he was there in the past. East Bengal fans jumping everywhere. They don't know, still no telecast partner for us. A crazy East Bengal. Rakesh, again, it is most probably the best chance for East Bengal to win the ISL, right? And but the question is, what is the level? So yeah, let's see if AF can achieve their target dates and finally get broadcasters and all confirmed for us to start really very challenging. Shanata, all of that can be done, but again, are they able? Let's wait and see. That's the whole question. There's a guy from Sri Lanka who's playing second, third division English football. Sri Lanka is catching up. Utsav, they have got 3 or 4 players who are playing. I mean, I think you're talking about Vimal Yoganathan, who is at Barnsley, who played against Liverpool yesterday, and he's a Liverpool product. So yeah, they're there. They're all over. Is any club except Mono is going to sign foreign replacement? Prasad, at the moment, I've not heard anything. There are clubs who have foreigners, but it seems like most of the clubs who have foreigners are even releasing the foreigners that they have on their books. Like again, as Mumbai City did today with John Toral. So therefore, that seems to be the trend at the moment, that the clubs are saying, you know what, rather than spending money this season, let me try and save money. That seems to be the strategy. So therefore, let's wait and see what the others do. East Bengal fans, yeah, but again, Rakesh, we see the mess we are in, right? Rana Hamza is okay to tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. We may defeat Hamza, but a Nigerian in his youth is going to be a crime scene. No, again, Hamza is not Hamza. Again, do you know Hamza is half Caribbean, right? His dad is from Grenada, right? So if that's your logic, and Hamza Chaudhuri is a finished product, right? And he's been playing at that level between Premier League and Championship now for a decade, and that guy is nowhere. So again. It's East Bengal's title to lose if they are able to hold on to their foreigners. Yeah, Simon. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see. Um, yeah, let's wait and see. Michael Carrick as United coach. How do you rate or find this? Do you think they can finish in top four? Kundan, Manchester United is to me is the East Bengal of English football, right? History, pedigree, past successes, and they live in their own little world. So that's one. Top four, yes, possible because the Premier League is so bad at the moment. Again, take the top three out. So you know, so therefore for me, um, yeah, right. Let's wait and see what it means. Again, they're again going back to an ex-player. I mean, they were talking between Carrick and between Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. You need to bring, but the problem is not only that. Again, like with Real Madrid, I think the structural problems at United are the problem, in my opinion. If you ask me, that is a bigger problem. Um, you know, so therefore for me, we'll have to wait and see, right? I think Carrick, yeah, can he can stabilize, but again, if I look at the quality of the players and this and that and everything, and um, yeah, at the moment they look like a failed club. No, to me that's the big thing, right? So yeah, let's wait and see. So what is the prize money for ISL? Utsav, nothing has been formally said. What the prize money is supposed to be less, but I don't know what the price, because if the prize money was at the same level, then your whole budget will go away for the prize money. It is so funny that you payroll completely when others did force measure, but still ended up with zero trophies. Okay. If East Bengal somehow lands with both Diaz and Mauricio, it can be a deadly duo. Your thoughts on Diaz Mauricio as players? How much you rate them? Yash, both of them top level uh, uh, ISL strikers. Yeah, Pereira Diaz has shown, be it at Blasters, be it at Mumbai City, that he can win trophies. The same can be said about Mauricio at Mumbai City as well. That's where they really want big things. But yeah, let's see. So, and East Bengal could land both of them. But will it, again, the question is, will all of it work? And of course, both of them also getting old. That's another factor which should not be forgotten. Do you think the February 14th date would be missed? Prasad, it is possible. And let's see, you know, or on the Nigerian is youth. Aditya, doesn't matter. Again, you're getting carried away. East Bengal ever to win ISL Cup because of their fan culture is worst. Okay. I mean, they're not winning the ISL Cup anyway because there's no ISL Cup this season. If then they win the League Shield, but let's wait and see. Again, East Bengal, if they can get a couple of more strikers, mm, keep their first players fit, yeah, they have an advantage. No, Noah and Luna would actually end up signing permanently given the scheme of things. Simon, it is possible. You know, so therefore. Uh, we'll have to wait and see what the Blasters do. Again, the Blasters have also released Rodriguez today. So it's very, very clear that the clubs are, a number of clubs have for themselves decided, you know what, let's, um, how we're going to operate, how we're going to run. Very interesting to see how some of these franchisees teams are handling things. So latest the news about foreign coach women. X9P, there's been this rumor about someone coming in. I've not heard anything. And yes, I'm an hour late due to work. Why can't Indian clubs rebel like English clubs did against English FA? Aditya, if you see what has happened over the last 2, 3 months, the clubs have never spoken with one voice. The clubs have never, you know, uh, so therefore for me, the Indian clubs rebel. What the Indian clubs have tried rebellions now. 2001, 2002. In 2012 they tried. Now even indirectly, but they don't speak with one voice. So that rebellion will never work, right? So therefore, for me, is it's something. Um, yeah, yeah. So therefore, I don't think that Indian clubs can do it. And the problem is what I see now is my learning of the last few months is that if a commercial partner like Reliance is not there, I think running the Indian football ecosystem is very, very difficult. This ISL level of a certain, keeping it to a level, AIFF can't do it under its current structure, under the current leadership, under the current people working in the AIFF. So therefore, then the question is who can do it, how can they do it, and that is, in my opinion, very, very difficult. But again, those are the questions that need to be answered, right? That needs to be answered. It's like, can they do it? Will they do it? And the challenge is there, right? The challenge remains to be there, and very interesting to see how they, um, what the clubs do. Foreigners sought an exit in the face of AFF as if fiasco in search of game time. Meanwhile, Indian footballers can, can read as clowns turn into Insta reads and paragraph guys. Kundan, I don't like that comment about the Indian footballers being clowns. You know what? I, as someone who has organized trials, um, stints for Indian players, um, so therefore for me, who's going to give a chance to the Indian player? Forget Europe. Who's giving somewhere in Asia a chance to an Indian footballer? Simple question. Nobody. Right? I know that there are certain players who've tried their luck. They had people try and reach out. Uh, um and yeah, and therefore for Indian footballers again doing reels. You're saying you see those ones with Instagram reels. There are Indian footballers who are playing local tournaments, this and that. They're Indian footballers who are selling everything that they have because they don't have anything. So I don't know. It's very difficult. Xavi's departure really shows Madrid's long-standing monarchy, no structure, no system, only a philosophy of success and luxury signings. Yes, I mean, to some extent, it is. Again, the status is not that of Real Madrid. To some extent, it is what Mohanbag Supergiant has become under Sanjeev Goenka, right? That success counts. That Xavi Alonso, who's a legend at the club, having won things with Real Madrid, having been very successful at Liverpool and at Bayern Munich, having shown with Real Sociedad be what kind of a coach potentially is. Xabi took the long route, didn't go directly into La Liga, into a big club or whatever. Took the long route. Then went to Bayer Leverkusen, had a lot of talented players, formed, you know, and created a beast of a team that which didn't lose in Germany any match in that 23-24 season. And then you go to Real Madrid. I mean, again, he had options. Last year, he could have gone to Liverpool. He could have gone to Bayern. He decided, this season to go to Real Madrid. But Real Madrid was not ready for Xabi Alonso. Florentino Perez is not ready for Xabi Alonso. So therefore, for me, these are small little things which showed itself. And to me, Xabi Alonso is someone that you have to allow to work on those things, try to build something. Um, you know. So therefore, for me, yeah, it is. It is about the players. It is about a certain laziness also in the system, from what I understand. There's this old story about a nutritionist who was fired late last year, who said, you know what, I was told simply by the guys, don't bother about things, don't do things, just sit in your office, enjoy being at Real Madrid and enjoy your salary. Right. So this is again, it's, to me, Real Madrid sound again, if with success or else, they sound like a Kolkata Maidan club. Real Madrid don't sound like the biggest team in the world of club football. And Xavi Alonso, again, if you're trying to tempt a Jurgen Klopp or a Julian Nagelsmann or even a Thomas Tuchel, let's call out the three big German coaches who are, you know, who Real Madrid would target. None of them would be interested knowing these realities. And Ancelotti coming back for another time, I don't know. So therefore, for me, um, yeah, in my opinion, very very difficult. East Bengal has never won anything. Forget Asia Cup. Make me think that perhaps East Bengal were good in the past because of lack of competition. Aditya, that is not true. And that shows again to me a lack of knowledge. If I look at back at the early 2000s, Subhash Bhomik, the first coach really to implement certain things in Indian football. Um, winning the I League, winning the NFL last time, winning the ASEAN Club Championship in style, planning things, structuring things. I think at that time, a lot of things went right. And once Subhash Bhumik was gone in 2004, since then, it's been a ride. Trevor Morgan had, again, I'm a big fan of Trevor. Always loved him, liked him. And, but again, he didn't have the success. So that's the thing. The Monarchy of Madrid became the most successful team when it comes to see seeing as the Barca fan. They have, Aditya, but again, I think times are changing, and I think Real Madrid. Let's see if Real Madrid become the new Man United. But this is special. If ASEC clubs rub together with all the money they have, they might actually succeed. No, they won't, Aditya, because they will not rebel together. Again, this is what I've been telling you guys again and again. The clubs will not rebel together, right? Yeah. So that's the thing. Rebellion, does it even exist in football? No, it doesn't, Simon. They talk about rebellion. They talk about removing the president. They talk about doing this. They talk about doing that. None of it ever happens. That's the reality of Indian football. We talk about a lot of things. None of it will happen. Who's again? If you have the CEO of all the teams sitting in front of the sports minister, nobody says what the situation is, and so for me, it doesn't work. It doesn't work that way, right? Is it a deadline for broadcasting? No, it isn't. Couldn't rebel against Brits here. I was expecting clubs would rebel. Aditya, unlikely. So don't you think it was a plan all along to have a short league this season, have new elections for everyone, then have a long-term ISL tender? No, what's up? None of this is planned. It's just happening. If you think that there is a plan behind it, congratulations. Why can't have foreign professionals to be president, secretary, if it's compulsory that they have to be Indian? Secretary doesn't have to be Indian. President, I actually don't know what the constitution says. If nationality is a topic. Could have gone to at least Bangladeshi company, even Thai second division. Kundan, nobody will take them. Which Indian footballer will go, given the realities between India and Bangladesh, who will go there and which Bangladeshi club will go on to sign Indian player? Bangladesh is dead. And Southeast Asia, nobody will take us. Kundan, there is nobody waiting for our players. Our quality is that. Nobody will take us. I know players who are saying, listen, we will either play Goa Pro League or Kolkata Football League or Mizoram Premier League next season if things go the way they're going. Sam says to Aditya, that's true, but football is evolving. That flick and flare is a bygone era. Even Neymars don't exist anymore. This is bound to fail eventually. Yeah, Simon, it is bound to fail. And again, if Real Madrid doesn't wake up to its reality, Real Madrid will be another Man United. Right? They've been lucky with getting away with winning Champions League here, or maybe you know what, we won the Champions League there. It's not that easy anymore, I would say. And that's the challenge that I think they have, that they have to showcase how good or how bad are they. And to me, big challenge. ISL or I League club never brought Chinese, Vietnamese, or Cambodian players. What make you think that they will take us as foreigners? They too have a limit. Our agents are incompetent. Forget the agents. No, the agents are not incompetent. Again, you guys have opinions. Again, um, yeah, our players are not wanted. It's not. Yeah, they don't have that experience. Okay. Why Shabi failed as manager? I think Shabi isn't stupid that he doesn't know Sabu Real Madrid and his players. Gogo, he knows. But again, Shabi is someone who said, listen, I've come in, you've told me to come in, let me try and change things for good. I think that was his thought process. And it's failed. It has failed completely. It's failed. And if you see the way Real Madrid was playing against Barcelona, a little deeper. Again, that's not a Xavi Alonso team. Xavi Alonso also gave up on his own principles, and that is also a failure because he gave up. And I think you know what is now coming out is not just a firing from Florentino Perez. It seems to be that to some extent it was also mutual to say, you know what, I'm done with this. Better for me to leave now because this was clear it was not going to get better. Why on East Bengal fans cultures worst? Whole clubs fighting against AIFF, these fans supporting AIFF worst. Rakesh, if we take other matters, you'll say, oh, these fans are worse. If you take other matters, you'll say those are worse. Again, East Bengal fans, again, on this thing, yes, the East Bengal fans have a paranoia in regard to, that everyone is against them. That's one. Mohun Bagan fans seem to have a paranoia when we talk about Iran, right? Kerala Blasters have a paranoia when we talk about referees. The BFC have a paranoia, I don't know about what. And then FC Goa fans, Mumbai City fans, Chennai fans, again, whoever, right? So problems with fan groups is a thing. And I remember I said, there's an old video of mine, I think from 2017, where I tell Ankush and I are walking along Carter Road in Mumbai. Where I tell him, I remember at that time, Robin Singh was playing for East Bengal against Bangalore FC, and they were booing him and abusing him. I said, this guy actually won your championships, right? So this is the problem. One word, entitlement. Yeah, and that's the problem. Entitlement never helps you. Do you think the quality gap between Bayern and the rest is concerning? Dortmund, Leipzig, Leverkusen have had transition phases quite recently, and their selling policy makes it difficult. Simon, Bayern Munich, again, for me, and not only Bayern Munich, but if I look at the top teams in their respective leagues, even again, I was telling someone who's English, I was telling someone the Premier League is boring in my opinion. There's no, if Liverpool and Man United are fighting for top four, your league cannot be good. Sorry, with what they've been playing and what they've been putting together, right? That to just prove a point of equality. In Spain, listen, Real Madrid has not been doing good, but they're still second in the league. So all these leagues have a problem. But if I see Frankfurt against Dortmund last Friday, 3-3, really good game. Yesterday, Stuttgart against Frankfurt, 3-2, really good game. Before the Bundesliga restarted, I was watching the Premier League for the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Sorry, the quality's not good. So the point is, even with Leipzig, with all its problems, Leverkusen with its problems, Leverkusen got thrashed 4-1 by Stuttgart the other day, right? On Saturday evening. So to me, Bayern is Bayern, again, even with the loss at Arsenal, Bayern Munich are the best team in the world at the moment, period. Right? There's no question, no doubt about it that they are the best team in the world. So the question to me now is, how can you move further ahead? So, so the question is, and it is Vincent Company, it's the players, it's the teams, it's again, um, yeah, East Bengal, logical thing. Nah, no thanks. We're East Bengal supporters. Cuckoo, yeah, might be. Again, East Bengal, I do understand because there's a level of desperation because the club has not won anything, has not won a national league since 2004. It's been over 2 decades. And East Bengal is a big, big, big entity at the end of the day, right? So it's a problem for them. Right, 35 minutes nearly on this live on this Wednesday evening. It is the 14th of January, nearly half a month done of the first month of the year. And, yeah, today onwards, it's Indian football and more discussion because, again, it's not just about Indian football, but a little bit of international football as well. Give you my opinions, my takes on things. I did a video today on the Xabi Alonso firing. Let me know what you think. Leave your opinions behind. Watch it, share it. Again, I need you guys to support me on that front. And again, like this video, 9 likes so far. I think we're going to do much, much better. We're at 31 and 30 in the last couple of days. Share it with others to join in. And if you haven't, do subscribe to the channel. We stand at 3,704 today. Indian squad playing 30 matches will be good for Indian football. Your opinion, Mahesh? No, not good because you're playing in 3 months. What you'll be playing spread out over a calendar year. So again, better than nothing. But this is going to be a joke of a league. Has there been player power problems at Bayern ever? How does Bayern maintain this well? So yes, you've had. No, they got the players got rid of Ancelotti, the players got rid of Niko Kovac, the players got rid of Nagelsmann. So yes, of course, player power is a very important factor. But the players at Bayern Munich are trying to be better, right? The problem has been, if you look at, you know, now it's about quality. It's about quality and it's about class. The German fans don't want competition, they want stability, and Bayern provides that. Of course, they want competition. Aditya, even if it was supposed to be funny, it is not funny. And the German competition, to me, take Bayern out of the competition. I think the competition is more interesting than any other league. I will say that always. What happened to Hertha? Another Schalke? Simon Hertha had his own problems. So Hertha got an external investor, got 375 million euros to spend it wrongly, as they always do. And then, yeah, was fighting, went down, and now is trying to regroup. And while Schalke is top of the table, right? Schalke could be coming back to the Bundesliga. Quality leaving ISL this season. Ika, Toral, Timor, many more to go. Chennai playing all Indian 11. Yeah, man, it was bound to happen. Whatever you think, even now with what is happening, I think I've heard from a foreigner who's left. He said, "Listen, I don't trust them really starting the league on the 14th." A foreigner's told me. I said, "Yeah, valid point." And non-payment of salaries was an issue, right? Even though people are saying, no, 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 they've been paid. Most of the ISL clubs for a long time in the second half of 2025 did not pay salaries, which is, again, shocking. I said clubs are more egoistic than Real Madrid players. Yeah, Goku, that's another problem. The clubs are not willing to come together to think, okay, what jointly can we do to try and improve, right? It doesn't happen, right? People who think AFF planned everything that happened last 6 months are as clueless as AFF and president. Yeah, Mike, things have happened because the AFF has no plan. I totally agree with you on this one. There's no plan behind it. These things have happened, a lot of it by chance or forced, because the AFF was not ready to do what was needed to be done. Right? That's the whole problem of it. AFF could have avoided this. Do you think Manolo Marquez also leaving FC Goa? Mayank, I've not heard anything that he's leaving or any other of the coaches who have been with the clubs. At the moment, as far as I know, the coaches are still there. AFF also hosts Santosh Trophy, right? Why players are not motivated to play in their state? Why can't we replicate Ranji Trophy structure in India? Utsav, why would someone who's playing professional football go to play Ranji Trophy? The Santosh Trophy. In my opinion, this Santosh Trophy should be something for players who've not played at the top level to be able to get a chance. Yeah. People in everything in this country don't want to change. They stay as they want comfortably. Comfortability is the death. Okay, Aditya. I think the players and management failed Xavi, not the other way around. Xavi Alonso should have never gone to Madrid. Yeah, man. I think afterwards, I think the question is also, should he have left Bayer Leverkusen or should he have stayed maybe 1 or 2 more years and built another team? Because he had the full backing of the club. His problem was he went to Real Madrid, and Real Madrid again. Even Ancelotti left in the end and said, "Listen, this is a mess." He didn't say it, but again, you could see that it was a mess, right? So, yeah. So that's the thing. Um, yeah. So therefore, for me, difficult one to see. But again, this is the Real Madrid for you, and with all its issues and problems. And problem with Indian, they lack unity. All 14 clubs can come together and would make AFF pressurize sports ministry. No, they can't. Forget pressurizing AFF. Even the sports ministry commitment. The sports minister said, "I will provide you free stadiums," and most states are saying, "No, we're not." You know. So to me, again, all these things, if the clubs really want to do some, but again, there is no leadership. There is no leadership in the AFF. There's no leadership in Indian football in general. There's no leadership amongst the clubs, right? DFB Pokal is in Waves OTT, unexpected. Yeah, XMP, the DFB Pokal is on multiple platforms. I think it's also on SSCN and on others as well. Bayern is the best club in the world. Their second best, of course, best is Barca. Nah, Aditya, I think, wasn't it they scored 8 against Barca? So I think that I think puts you in place. Bengal main player, they are main concern about Sancho Trophy rather than Indian football situation. No, they're not. Who says Bengal is more concerned about Santos Trophy? German Bundesliga league is the most technical league. When the German manager arrived to a few seasons ago, the captain said that this is the best training session I've had. Acha, BFC. Marco Pezzaioli. Yeah. Pezzaioli, yeah. Not an easy manager. Yeah. Difficult guy, but yeah, he's good. I don't think Real Madrid will end up Man United. They always have this ups and downs. Somehow they will figure it out. Okuku, yes, but again, I think times are changing. And my question is, and it was said also, I agree to that, what was said earlier. It'll be interesting to see if they really recognize that and again don't go that way because uh you know, so therefore let's wait and see. The problem with Germans is that I feel they're like part Indians. They hardly leave the country. Who says that? Who says that the Germans don't leave their country? If Man United they were trying to finish top four, it's totally opposite of what you're saying. It means even OG clubs are struggling to beat small teams over. It's more competitive. Utsav, it's not competitive. It is not competitive. Look at the quality. If Liverpool and again Liverpool and Man United, the quality that they have at the moment, they should not be top four. And how many times has Man City won the league in the last few years? How many times has Arsenal choked? Right? How many times has actually one club been clearly ahead of the rest and maybe a second team trying to hang on to it? The Premier League always had this, right? It is not one club who's done it, but mainly one club, which is Man City. So therefore, all this hype that is created, it's a media bubble. And so again, and La Liga is has been always okay, one of the two big ones, and then every 15 years Atletico comes in the way, bas khatam, that's it. Yes, Bayern Munich is a one-team league, but look at the rest of the league. Again, look at a game like, I don't know, Mainz Heidenheim yesterday, which was bottom of the table, and it's a great game of football. Yes, sir, the Bundesliga direct play style makes it exciting training. Certainly, the Premier League is old school with the football, but with slightly improved structure, especially after Pep came over. Listen, Simon, Pep has had his effect in Germany. I think Germany would have not won the World Cup without Pep Guardiola coming in 2013 and coming to Bayern. Yeah, because it added a new dimension to a lot of those players. And he's done that to the Premier League as well. But if I see, if for example, I always say, we're talking about strikers. I think Haaland has been scoring more goals in the Premier League than he's done in Germany, right? Again, a lot of people talk about Harry Kane, this, that, everything. Then I could counter that by saying Harry Kane. Voldemort is scoring more goals in the Premier League. So what? Premier League defenses are easy again, and this 1:1 equations don't work. I'm saying overall, I feel again, and I always will say yes, I am biased because I'm born and brought up in this football, right? But it relies on brute physicality. Yeah, it does. The kingdom flourishes and sees ups and downs is going to be funny. Okay, when Florentino Perez retires. That's an interesting phase which will come to Real Madrid. Very true. When Florentino Perez is gone, what will be Real Madrid? Is there someone to take? Because Barca has been having problems with their presidency in the last few years, right? But the reality is also, when we talk about these two clubs, anywhere else in the world, they would have gone out of business 15, 20 years ago because of the debt they've had. The Spanish state has stood there and covered for them. Otherwise, it wouldn't have happened. Is Sir Indian football really deserve our support today draw against Bangladesh? Listen, X9P, you're talking about futsal, and yes, it does deserve our support. Every day, every match, whatever it is. Even in Champions League, English clubs are more successful. Who says that? If you think long-term statistics, then let me see if they're more successful, right? Sorry. La Liga clubs have more Champions Leagues. La Liga clubs have more Europa League than Premier League teams, and they have more Conference League Cup than Premier League teams. Again, yeah. So yeah, English clubs are nowhere near. Are you a Bayern fan? No, Manveer, I'm not only a Bayern fan. I've worked for the club as well, right? So I know a little bit about them. So yeah. So therefore, let's wait and see. So yeah, on one side, fan, yes, but on the other side, worked for them as well. I think the mid-table teams make a difference. Yes, Simon, the mid-table teams, again, again, the best example for me were Arsenal against Liverpool a few days ago, right? Hyped up this, that, terrible football, terrible football. It was anti-football, right? How do you rate AFF Governing Council Management Committee plan? Do you think club will accept that and AFF will get a good commercial partner? Tushar, a commercial partner, they will get none at the moment, if you ask me. If someone comes forward, lucky. And the clubs have accepted it. Are they happy with it? I don't know. The clubs are going by it. No, the clubs want. The clubs think they are under pressure from here and there. That's why they're playing. Right. This is. The clubs are not playing from their free will. They're playing because they think and believe that there is pressure on them. So yeah, that's the reality where we are at the moment. Any broadcasting? No, such a no broadcasting conversation. Vinju has become a crybaby. Why did he want Xavi sacked? ABCD, he's always been a crybaby, no? With certain Brazilian players, sadly, Vinny Jr. or Neymar, these guys are so talented that this angle of theirs was not never needed, right? But they are the way they are. And Vinicius Jr. is one of the reasons, besides it seems like Kylian Mbappe, that Xavi Alonso had to go. And Xavi with Mbappe, I think a good example is, listen, Paris Saint-Germain won the Champions League the year after he left. Very interesting, right? His dream was always to win the Champions League, couldn't do it with PSG, goes to Real Madrid, and what happens? Oops, PSG wins it. Optimistic that Arsenal start on February 14th. Nevin, I'm not sure. Um, yeah. At the moment, I think it will happen. What will happen on the 14th? That we'll have to wait and see. And Harris said promised to build two stadiums in Mangalore. Never nice to promise things, but it's in Indian conditions to promise anything is impossible. The futsal team win every but the stage we recently had a futsal team, but the kind of performance and money will not enough. Yeah, we'll go. Do you see Shavan as a Bundesliga? I think he fits Serie A more considering his defensive tactics. Simon, interesting is that Xavi, since leaving Barca, has actually not been able to get a job, right? So let's see. Let's see what happens. Yes, NARS is the vice president of the AIFF. Now the English don't. What does German call Netherlands? Holland or Netherlands? They call it Holland, even though Holland actually is a region of the Netherlands, right? Or no, sorry, they actually call it Nederlande. Sorry, we call it Nederlande. You call it Holland, but actually it is the Netherlands is Niederlande as in German. Gallagher, Trippier, none of them have stayed over for more than 2 years. That's an interesting one, right? Both of them joining Atleti, even not doing bad, but then first opportunity to go back to England, they head back. Interesting. Or maybe Pep Guardiola is way too good of a manager. That's why he dominated Spain, England, and Germany. Um, Utsav, Pep Guardiola will always, in my opinion, in discussions, come amongst the best coaches ever in the history of football. So, uh, you know, uh, um, so you know that's the thing. And again, to coach Barca, to one of the biggest entities, Bayern Munich, to come to Bayern as a foreigner to implement your ideas wasn't easy. And he has made Man City to the best team in the Premier League in the last decade, at least, right? So from that aspect, I think there's nobody else who can, you know, say anything against his success and the level of success that Pep Guardiola has had. So therefore, uh, yeah. So therefore, for me, you know, um, so therefore for me, um, yeah, exceptional manager. I've had the pleasure at Bayern to interact with him a few times. So therefore, yeah, really great. F will keep taking clubs as hostage from now on until they don't, again, Aditya, this whole um, hostage and all. No, this is, to me, the AFF didn't do anything. Kalyan Chobe seems to be, the clubs didn't stand up. The sports minister didn't do either anything, right? So to me is that the clubs didn't stand up for themselves, and um, so therefore for me that's very very important, um, and therefore the clubs need to stand up for themselves, but nobody can do that. So therefore for me very very clear, we need to do the things that are needed. Do you think the Messi tour made the government intervene for ISL to happen? No. Both of them have nothing to do with each other. The Messi tour was misused by X number of people. The Messi tour, Kolkata was its own mess. I think Hyderabad was an embarrassment with someone trying to play football who most probably is not good enough to play with Messi. Um, Mumbai was Mumbai, where Sunil was embarrassed, I would say, and Delhi, Jay Shah doing his stuff in regard to cricket tickets. Well, welcome to the world. And again, my respect for Lionel Messi has also gone down for doing all this tamasha in India. Again, if you and I have enough money, we could buy Messi as well. So therefore, that's the thing. And again, someone was talking about Cristiano Ronaldo a little earlier. The same thing. These guys, if you put enough money on the table, they can be bought. So therefore, my respect. Honestly, big footballers, this, that, everything, but the respect for me has gone down after seeing all of these things. Rocco Reitz, how good is he? Simon, Rocco Reitz, midfielder, captain at Borussia Mönchengladbach, very talented player. Germany in 2024 was training with with the national team before the tournament. Question is, he needs to most probably move on. His coach is a good friend of mine. He needs to move on to a bigger team and prove himself, and yeah, and then become a regular for the national team, which is difficult in itself because you've got these young guys coming through, be it a Pavlovic, be it a Tom Bischoff, which makes it difficult for someone like a Rocco Reitz. I think Real Madrid want a player like Caicedo in midfield. Goku could be, but again, will you allow a Caicedo to play? I mean, if I see the sluggishness of a Kamavinga, if I see the Chouamini as a centre back, remember when they first burst onto the scene in the French league, before joining, Real Madrid. Wow, so a lot of these guys, I don't know, they've not stepped up, right? And um, as you say, Goku, he was not good. Yeah, he was not good. Burkhardt, is he different from Waldemar? Yeah, Simon. Um, of course, much smaller. Johnny Burkhardt than Nick Woldemade. Has left Mainz to join Eintracht Frankfurt, which is a big move. Scored a number of goals, I think 9, if I'm not wrong, before he got injured. So therefore, yeah, that's to be remembered. Um, yeah, more of a box player in that way. Voltemade likes to drop, play football, play of players, has improved with his heading dramatically at Newcastle. So yeah, different strikers. Do you think Minje Kim gets the way more hate than what he deserves? Simon, in Germany, he's never made it. Right? To me, Minje Kim is a very weird one. Minje, never showcased what he did at Napoli, right? So if you ask me that way, um, Minje Kim didn't convince me that he is that player. So yeah, sorry. So to me, that is, yeah, that's the Minje situation, or players like that when he joined Bayern. So yeah, let's wait and see. Do you think we need someone like Marco Pezzaioli should make a comeback to football? Youth football is good and a lot of superstars emerge from. But I don't think Marco would be willing and wanting to come back to India. And also I've heard, at BFC, certain people were not happy with his workings again because I think it was very demanding, and he's not an easy character as well. So I don't see him coming back to the ISL. Yeah, so it is. Thuram was also good. Yeah, Thuram was also good. Um, 55 minutes. Quick reminder: like, share, and subscribe. Only 13 likes, guys. I think we can do better. And yeah, if you're new to the channel, do subscribe to channel. 3705 is the number. And watch, please, the short summary of mine in regard to Xabi Alonso and Real Madrid after all the ISL stuff. And yeah, Thank you as always for your support. And as I said, today onwards, it's Indian football and more discussion, no longer the Indian football discussion. Again, let's not just talk Indian football, let's increase our bandwidth. Let's get more people to talk with us, discuss with us. And to me, again, as a follower working in European football, also, it's not a problem for me to discuss and talk. And if I don't know something, I will tell you I don't know it. So therefore, like, share, and subscribe. And as always, thank you guys for your support. Eric Dyer was one of the players who had way more of a lasting impact than the duration he stayed. Yeah, very true. And Simon, do you know who in his youth was a teammate of Eric Dyer? Do you know the pathway of Eric Dyer to professional football? Right, Eric Dyer at the moment, of course, a Cheltenham-born person, but um, Eric Dyer, playing at Monaco since he left Bayern Munich last year. Joined. Um, he moved to Portugal and he played at Sporting Lisbon, first at the B team, and at Sporting B. His teammate was a certain Sunil Chetri, you know, and yeah, that's weird to think, but again, at the time, he made the transition from the B team to the A team, and then, of course, went on to play for Tottenham for a decade, and then went on to play for Bayern, and now is at Monaco. And Eric Dyer, 49 matches for England. Yeah, he's done very well for his career, but I think a lot of people don't remember that he actually was a teammate of Sunil at Sporting B. Indian women's team are getting a new head coach. The Coca-Cola sponsor is really handy. Mervin, as far as I know, the Coca-Cola sponsorship is not for the first team. It is only for the under 17 women's national team. I mean, that's what Coca-Cola has announced. And I don't know if the national new head coach idea is right or if there is a support from some federation or there. But as far as I know, it's not the case. Thuram, Zakaria, Sommer, etc., the Mönchengladbach team, they are a shadow of what they were in the past. Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, Markus Thuram, Dennis Zakaria, Jan Sommer. I mean, Zakaria, for example, never was ever again the quality that he was at Mönchengladbach after he left them, right? So again, Jan Sommer did play at Bayern, then played at Inter, or is playing at Inter. Um, Reached the Champions League final last season, yes. And Marcus Thuram, of course, at Inter has been winning championships, and of course is not the level of his father. Let's put it this way, but again, he could win the World Cup, right? So it'll be interesting to see, yeah, where it goes. But that Borussia Mönchengladbach team you're talking about, really, really exceptional at the time. Yeah, it was more foreign than English. Dyer, that is. Yeah, Eric Dyer, of course. Eric Dyer, because his father, a tennis player, grew up in his younger days in Portugal, then went to the Sporting Lisbon Academy, and then Sporting Clube de Portugal, as it's called in full, made his breakthrough, and then from there, went on his journey to Tottenham and then Bayern, now at AS Monaco. Um, yeah, underrated guy, underrated person. And again, at Bayern, they were really unhappy when he left because they said, "Oh, actually, we would like him to stay." And then when someone wants to leave, and the club is saying, or people are saying, um, that they need to that they have such a reputation that the people in the club say, you know what, you should be staying with us. You shouldn't go. And that's speaks for Eric Dyer, calm and quiet guy. Of course, came to Bayern because Harry Kane sort of convinced him to join. And yeah, it's an interesting, I always say, interesting one to see. These kind of guys with the success they bring in makes a lot of sense. And yeah, let's see. Right. Did I answer all of your queries today? Or it seems like a little over an hour. Um, Again, once more, um, we're waiting for next steps in the whole process of the AIFF. Um, they have now um, sorted their what they call the governing council and the management committee. So the structure is that the AIFF um, for the Indian Super League, and again, if I understand it right, they would replicate the model for the I League. Um, that they would have a governing council with 22 members and an ISL management committee with 11 members. The governing council would comprise of the 14 clubs, so each club would be represented. Um, three of them would be from um, the rights holders, commercial broadcasting, and the remaining five would be either president or secretary of the federation, vice president of the federation, treasurer, as well as two what they call two independent members with no commercial partnership with the AFF, wherein one will be nominated by the AFF, the other by the club. So it's very interesting who the clubs nominate. And then you have what they call the ISL management committee. The management committee, it's going to be like an LOC, an organized sort of like a local organizing committee um, under the supervision of the governing council, and it will be the operational arm, the ISO management committee. So it will have operational management, regulatory compliance, compliance monitoring, stakeholder management, sponsorship management, finance management, and delegate things also through subcommittees. And this will be chaired by the secretary, or in this case, deputy secretary of the federation, because and further it'll have the competitions head of competitions and head of strategy of the federation. And the clubs will put, again, three members from the commercial partner and five from the clubs. And two of the clubs will be the top two teams of the last season. And then three will be decided mutually by the club. So that's the structure of these two bodies. And then let's see, um, you know, let's see if they can make it work. So that's going to be a question that surely will um, yeah, that'll be interesting to see. Where is he? They're staying eyeing for a Bundesliga return. He needs to get back the number one spot for Germany. Simon, I don't see him getting offers in Germany. There was a connection made interesting to some Turkish clubs, if I remember right. There was talks about Marc-Andre Ter Stegen being looking at clubs in Spain, at Girona. Girona was supposedly interested in him. But I've not heard anything else. And of course, he needs to stay injury free. So that's the biggest problem. Um, and so, therefore, for me, interesting to see. To me, if I'm being honest, I think, you know, if I want who I want, I would say would be Manuel Neuer in goal. I think Manuel Neuer the other day in the Bundesliga against Wolfsburg also showed what the difference of quality he has, and therefore that is, that's of different level. Will Fancourt buy ISL rights? They got money to buy A League rights. I don't think there are even 100 Indians who watch A League. Someone, one, two, three. Are they buying the A-League rights, or are they getting the A-League rights for free and then showing it on the television? Not every time when someone has the rights for something do they pay for it. And ISL rights is not just buying ISL rights, but there's the question of who's going to do production, who's going to do this, who's going to do that, who's going to be the broadcaster, who's going to be the linear broadcaster, let's say. And then the question comes up of the streaming partner potentially. So therefore, it's not that easy, as you say. Injuries haven't helped him to do so, though. Yeah, injuries are a big problem for Ter Stegen. So therefore, for me, Ter Stegen, um, yeah, we'll have to wait and see. And he still has picked up injuries this season. The CSL demise is similar to the ISL, or was it COVID the only problem? No, Simon, the demise of the CSL is totally different, because the CSL's problem was, yes, COVID, 100%. And of course, also the downturn in the Chinese economy, which we forget, right? Think about Guangzhou Evergrande in 2013-14 won the Champions League, right? And I think Cannavaro, Lippi, and all these guys, they were the best team, not only in China but in Asia. And Evergrande disappeared as a group, right? So therefore, That's the thing. Then COVID hit, and then more companies. I think 16 out of 48 clubs in the top three divisions in China disappeared. So actually, one complete league disappeared because there are too many clubs where the owners financially couldn't sustain. So therefore, these are some of these things are very difficult, very complex, and therefore I think the Chinese Super League had its fate. The ISL has its own problems. Again, the ISL I think would not face the problem that it's facing now if the AFF somehow sorted it out with either Reliance or brought on a different commercial partner. The ISL situation is made by the AFF. The AFF didn't do its homework. Simple. How do you rate Artobolu of Freiburg? Is he the future? No, Artobolu of SC Freiburg, yeah, surely looks to be the future potential number one for Germany. Um, the best amongst the young keepers, even though Jonas Obich at Bayern, let's see if he's going to become the new number one once Manuel Neuer goes. Um, so therefore, it'll be very interesting to see if um, Atebolu, I think Atebolu, Jonas Obich, I think Germany have a very interesting new generation of goalkeepers coming up. Ter Stegen was overshadowed by Neuer in his prime. Yes, somehow, 100%. Someone, sorry, 100%. Manuel Neuer, one of the best, maybe the best goalkeeper of all times. If you have him in front of him, that's bad because Ter Stegen, top class goalkeeper, be it at Gladbach and then at Barcelona, captain for Barca. But again, in the last 2, 3 years, of course, a lot of problems with injuries. One has to be honest about that. But yeah, he's you know. So therefore, those are things. You know, let's see what can be done. But to me, Germany have options, and that's going to be interesting to see. Um, yeah, even the A League is having its own share of struggles. Western United pulled out due to financial reasons. Yeah, Simon, this is the point. Is at the moment is that the costings of football in large parts of the world is gone too high, right? And then think about it that Australian A-League players were leaving the A-League and coming amongst others to India because why? Because Indian clubs are willing to pay them more than the guys in the A-League because there was a level of consolidation going on, right? If clubs like Melbourne City is paying less than clubs in the ISL, um, says everything, right? Players like Luna and all these guys coming over. So therefore, these are all realities. Some of them are, difficult to take, difficult to adjust to, but that those are the realities of Indian football where we stand at this moment in time as I speak to you guys, if I like it or not. But that's the difficulty. That's the difficulty, and I will say and repeat it again and again that yeah, a lot of these leagues in across Asia, Australasia, they're not in a good state, right? I hope we find some structure which works on ground that just on paper, and this is dragged for way too much. Simon, I think we all hope that there is a structure, there is an organization, there is something that happens that makes our football more sustainable in some sort of form way. But at the moment, the real problem is, my issue is at the moment, if I see things, um, the AFF is the AFF is the AFF, and it's a massive mess that the AFF finds itself in. And the question is, who's gonna work towards, um, to structure it? And then the clubs we've seen now, no? The clubs have their own issues. So that's the reality, and that's where it is. Gute Nacht, good night, Simon. Hopefully, see you tomorrow. Any ray of hope in our country's soccer? Namita, that's that's it's a big question. It's a big question because you know what? I always say there's somewhere hope, or let's you call it ray of hope. Um, you know, um, the problem is that again, without the right leadership, without the right decisions, without the right people running it, also looking not at at dreaming things, but looking at reality and what can be done. Without that, nothing will happen, right? If I look at it again and again and again about what has all happened in the last few years, then to me the biggest problem is that a lot of these things to me were very clear that we are heading towards that, but it seems like other people didn't bother about it, right? Just happened, right? Uh, so um, it is an issue, and but I think the leadership is going to be the key to success for our football in the future. Salary cap should be reintroduced in ISF for another 5 seasons, but we won't get good players from Liga who are 30 plus. Mervin, the salary cap is a nice idea, but I've said this X number of times on my lives that a salary cap I don't think works, because if you want to, you can work around it and give salaries or give contracts, even advertising, whatever, blah blah, and then work around it. So that is, in my opinion, a problem of our current model. And again, the salary cap, nobody's kept the salary cap. So that's as sad as it sounds, but that's the reality of things that we've had over the last 11 years. And therefore salary cap sounds fine. And the question is, I think, given our scenario at the moment, I don't see, um, so for me, um, I think the better quality foreigners are going to be not joining the league anytime soon. That's the thing. Sir, পয়সা সবার বেশি থাকে না, but it comes down towards managing it. Namita, yes, but also if you have, again, she says, or he says, she is Namita, sorry, she is a he. That's what Namita I thought is. Um, uh, so not everybody has too much money. To sum it up, um, it's about managing. And that's very good. That's well said about managing the money. Yes, it is about managing your funds, managing your expectations and other things as well, and trying to run with what you want, what you need, right? So therefore, for me, very, very important is that if you can do it the proper way, that's good. And but we've also have people who have more money than the others, but the management of that money is an issue. So therefore, these are, problems that are there, were there, are there, most probably will be there. And again, how can we work around them? Very, very big challenge, very, very big challenge in my opinion in Indian football at the moment. How can we run with Indian football in a proper way? Yeah, not an easy ask. Even though, if there's hope, our dear politicians try their little best to make it disappear. Yeah, it's not in politicians is one, the political class is one, yes, but other people as well. Again, right management is needed. So anything, any just for Indian OCI peer players in this league format? Namita, I would not recommend OCIs to come in. If you ask me, um, you know, um, makes no sense. If something proper happens next season, I would do that. If the sign is that if the foreigners are leaving the way they've left, then though it's anyway a problem in itself. And yeah, um, let's see what happens. Rumor says Costa Rican coach to replace Crispin Shetty for senior women's national team coach. Samat, yes, that rumor has been now going around, but yeah, let's wait and see if that's true or not. Golden time for sure, say for our OG legend players, like listen to lower their ego and of salary cap. Yeah, again, ego, yeah, most probably ego you'll say, but again, I think the last 6, 7, 8 months have, I think a lot of egos have come down from flying high to a little bit more reality, given those things. Yes, Costa Rican coach rumor. Yeah, there is a rumor. Let's wait and see. True, not good for us, else we shall face the same situation as Indonesia. I mean, the problem is with OCIs is um, Ryan Williams is an exception. Because of GSW's intervention, he got his passport so quickly. Will that be possible for other clubs to also do to get him a passport that quickly? I have my doubts. So therefore, for me, let's not compare it. We need a structural change from the government to either have a dual citizenships, um, you know, um, yeah, sort of a sports passport. I think that's in my opinion a good idea, a good approach, or start somewhere, dual citizenship, right? And those are the questions that we need to answer. OCI is a temporary sir. No, they're not. If you're going to start with it, it will never go. If you allow OCIs into your national team system, OCIs will be part of our future, and that is good. You know, um, so therefore, for me, um, our futures has to be built on overseas players because it will not happen within India, in my opinion, in the next 10, 15, 20 years if things are not changed dramatically. But our grassroots will carry us to the World Cup, wildest dream of mine. Namita, as I say, I don't think that um, our grassroots can take us to a World Cup. No, no chance. Again, if the coaches don't do their work properly, again, what I always like to say, my 5 points, right? Coaching, grassroots, youth, coaching, competition, scouting. As long as we don't sort out those things, you know, so therefore, um, it's not going to happen. So therefore, again, if you want to go to the World Cup, it will happen through OCIs. It will not happen through grassroots. If you're waiting for grassroots to happen, I don't know how young or old you are. We'll have to wait for a long, long time for that to happen. Yes, sir. Except the next season, you'll get tired and ISL 20-year road shape then to see Shanhundal sign with the club, sir, for how long, sir? X9P, let's see. I don't see any clarity as long as there are no elections. Let this start, then we'll see, and then let's see what elections happen and then what happens. I mean, so to me, and Shan, as far as I know, Brooklyn FC, I think he signed a 1 year contract at the moment. Yeah, for the 26 season. So don't you think Khalid's too soft? No, Amita, he's not soft. He's not soft. Why should I say? I don't think soft is not a word I would use for Khalid Jamil. I mean, he has to be a devil at this point for some seriousness. Namita, as much as I like Khalid as such, but Khalid, the job is not for him. So it's not being tough or being rough or being whatever. Um, the level of quality that I want from Indian national team coach, I don't think Khalid has that. Right? That's my thought problem with him being there where he is. And it's a challenge. It's players like Ayush will laugh on the field after an own goal. Why? Again, no, I don't know. I don't agree to that. If you want to ask me that, I don't agree with that opinion and viewpoint as such. Once more, reminder: like, share, and subscribe. Not only those who are watching it at this moment. Uh, you know, um, 17 likes so far. Thank you very much. And share with other people to join in our conversations. Again, it's no longer just about Indian football. We talk about world football as more. We stand at 3,707 people. Thank you very much. Slowly inching a little further ahead. And and watch the short videos. Again, as I said, Real Madrid sack Xabi Alonso. Try and do an analysis of the same. Hope you like it. Um, try to have a little bit of thinking here and there. So let me know what you guys think. XMP says overseas citizen of India, even in full form, citizen of India included time for citizenship or sport password. If it's AIFF budget need to increase, is I giving less money? Why would Sai give us more money? I don't know where you think that, and why would Sai give us more money would be my question to you. Why would Sai give us suddenly more money, or Indian football more money? Not me, but why would Sai give more money to Indian football? Yeah, and um, yeah, that's the you know, it's not the way that we want it or think we want it, but the realities are tough, right? So therefore, I agree with you. It says overseas citizen, but to me, the big question at the end of the day is how can we attract the right people to play for us? And it's on India to try and get these people. Really, F is just never mind. Yeah, sometimes better not you think about the AFF. I think we're being silly if we dream about going to round three World Cup qualifiers. Namita, I think we could have gone. No? We did everything to get into pot two. Um, and then yeah, we started with a win against Kuwait in Kuwait. Uh, yeah, and the rest was a disaster, right? Mm, so therefore, round three was possible, right? Yeah, thanks to Igor, we did make it. So that's the reality. So I'm going to contribute my 10 rupees pocket money to FF. How about that? Namita, great. You know, again, if anybody wants to contribute whatever he, she wants to contribute to it. But I would, if you want to contribute 10 rupees to Indian football, don't contribute it to the FF. That would be my piece of advice. Yes, I accept Sai would give more money even if is foods they don't use full salmon. No, XMP, there are reasons, rules and regulations of how you use. Again, if Sai gives you 5 rupees, you will not can't spend of 5 rupees like the way you want it. These are monies which are given um for you for specific projects. And if you don't have those projects, then you can't spend the money. So therefore, no. So therefore, not so easy. Maybe citizenship may be tough, sports passport maybe. XMP will have to wait and see. To me, the question at the end of the day remains, can we figure out what we want and what we need? And that is the question that the AFF somehow needs to find an answer to. No, that's the challenge that Indian football finds itself in. And therefore, I repeat myself again and again and again. Sports passport can only be, in my opinion, a first start, and then we need to think about what is more. Again, if we want to have Olympics, this, that, everything, then this the way it is at the moment is not good enough, right? So therefore, these a lot of things that need to be talked about, discussed, and that is the challenge. No, you know we did everything to get things wrong ultimately. Yeah, Indian football has done a lot of things wrong. Not only since yesterday, but over the decades. And a lot of things that were celebrated and were big and this and that, everything, yeah, it wasn't. Right. So therefore, these are things. So I don't think Bengal, which was a factory for player production, still at its peak as Bengali, it's in literal ruins. Namita, Bengal has we discuss it quite often here on this channel, where we talk about the so-called Maidan culture. East Bengal, Mohun Mohammedan, take all the other clubs in it, add the Indian Football Association, West Bengal, the IFA to the discussion. They live in their own little world. They don't want to do the work that is necessary to grow Indian football, right? And therefore, if you don't grow Indian football, what are you going to do? What are you going to get? And therefore, we are in the situation. Uh, so therefore, for me, Bengal lives in history. We were talking yesterday about Kolkata a lot. Where Kolkata, again, I love it I love Kolkata on one side. But on the other side, the problem with Kolkata is Kolkata sometimes is like a live, living museum, right? And that is the Kolkata Maidan. The Kolkata Maidan lives in a history of the 50s, 60s, maybe on a good day in the 70s. So we're living in history which is 50, 60, 70 years past, you know? And therefore, yeah, that's the problem. So I want to correct you. We don't get most of the things wrong. We got all of them wrong. Namita, not all. We got most wrong, not all, right? So all would be a little too much. But again, a lot of things in Indian football over the years were wrong. Still, yeah. Still, Bengal Super League is going on in Zibanga. Yeah, but Namita, who cares? Do people care? That it is on SSCN, that it is on Z Bangla, that it is on Z5 here, there, everywhere. The Bengal Super League is sadly not going to transform football in Bengal outside of Kolkata. Again, also talking about Bengal football is wrong. Mainly what we mean in Bengal is Kolkata football. We not talk, we when we talk about Bengal football, we are talking about Kolkata football. Period. Realities. These are certain realities, and that is tough, that is rough. But again, we have to live with it. So therefore, for me, yeah, it's not. It's yeah. Um, so therefore, for me, it's a very challenging thing. But again, Bengal needs to step up. So last question is VR and ISL this time. No, Amita, we're talking about cost cutting. VR is a is a massive cost to everyone. So the VR discussion is dead. For now, the VR discussion, we are trying to save money. We're not trying to spend money. VR is a huge expense, a lot of training required also for the people who are going to be working on it. So therefore, all of that, there is no VR. OCIPA national football can ignite fan culture. In international football, foot sanely, I would always say if PIO, OCIs come in, then we can reignite international football in India. 100%. Because maybe not tomorrow, maybe not day after, but in a mid to long term, we can grow Indian football to a new level, right? So those are the things, and that is that's the challenge for us. That's the challenge. Can we grow our football? Can we take it to another level, or do we stagnate on where we are? That's the question. So, but will we win? Even win SAF? Namita, good question. The women's have not been winning SAF for a while, right? If I look at SAF Women's Championship, okay, let me take this as an example, right? SAF Women's Championship. Okay, right? Started in 2010, 2010, 12, 14, 16, 19. India won. 22, 24, Bangladesh won. And we were not even in the final, right? We were in the semifinals. So from that perspective, yes, we've won five SAFs, but the last two were won by Bangladesh, right? So therefore, from that perspective, and funnily, Nepal has been in six finals and lost six finals, right? Which is an insane piece of stat. So therefore, that's the thing. But if I go to the men's game, 1 second, right? SAF championship, I go SAF championship. The track record is India has played 14 SAFs, has won nine of them. Maldives have won twice. Bangladesh once, 2003. That was the last win before last year. Afghanistan, of course, when they used to play, finished winners in 2013 in remember, Nepal. And Sri Lanka has won one in 1995, right? So if I look at all of this, right, um, then yeah, that's the reality. So therefore, these are some of the realities which are sometimes crazy, but they are the way they are. So SAF, I don't know. So what's the update on OCIPA or football? Nothing. Foot certainly there is no update on it. People want to make an update here and there, talk about it, speak about it. But to me, as per my knowledge at this moment in time, as I speak to you at this hour, late hour in India, there is no update on the PIO OCI situation. So therefore we have to wait, right? I am looking forward in March to seeing Ryan Williams play for India. Yeah, even though we're out and we're just playing the final AFC Asian Cup 2027 final round qualifier against Hong Kong. But yeah, it will be the debut of Ryan Williams. So therefore, that's a positive, right? So therefore, I'll take that, and again, we'll have to wait and see what happens thereafter with the topic of PIOs and OCIs, right? That's the thing. That's the thing. 1 hour, 29 minutes and 30 seconds at this time as I speak. That means we are at nearly 90 minutes. And once more reminder, like, share, and subscribe Arunfoot here on YouTube. 17 likes so far. Thank you very much. So again, share with other people to join in the conversations, discuss things on Indian football, on international football. As I said today is sort of a little bit of a shift to call it Indian football and more discussion. So we just don't talk about Indian football, but also talk about Asian football, European football, any other football that we want. And watch, as I say, the short videos. Watch um, what I did on the sacking of Xabi Alonso by Real Madrid. Watch the other videos. Again, this live today is video 1269. So therefore, thanks a lot again for all your support. And we're growing slowly here, and we're growing on Insta as well. And Thanks for that as well. With that, I think I've tried to answer. Um, Now, with this certain short, we are in the ICU. Yeah, are we in the ICU or are we in a coma and we are lying by the roadside? I don't even know if we're in the if we're in the ICU, we can wake up. I sometimes feel we've been thrown out of something and we're lying there and we're in a coma. Um, because I go back to the sleeping giant example. So therefore, the hope is there. Therefore, let's wait and see. Once more, thank you as always for your support. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Like, share, and subscribe Arunfoot on YouTube. Watch, share. Also, my other social medias. Follow me on X. Follow me on Twitter. Follow Twitter X, which is the same. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on Threads. Visit arunfoot.com, and I'll be back tomorrow with another live. This is Arunava Chaudhuri signing off. Good night, everybody.